fine. And minus $20 and make the 200. $2 and
Oh yeah, that. That this chila na we chilong zlo. You that also that is a com jabia kadula tango. George gi nyamle des. Nega jowe chudu sine. Wa. Nega chido chawa sirwa. That is okay chimurwa. Ni tango ji com mamsan com ja bezu ma che shera.
No.
Ni ngene tadi. Com ja zo jong che. Chudu ni. 아니 수수 단계 아니 나 당고 지금 뭔가제 두다지제 근데 내 님아 주의세 내 님아 정아 근데 내 다오지세 근데 제 갈래 굶시세 근데 곰자다 내가시다 곰자세 다 뉴질랜드로 있나 나 사자 빼먹고다 수수 곰자더나 다 곰자세 사자 주시 근데도 와라 내가시도 차왔어 강과 장마수 강과 장마수도 꾸는데 이게 다래 배배나 간들 하게 담보 단데니 이 연락 되지고는 조사 뒤전체 예지도 니 간데 차제 좀 공 뒤에지도 당아 아니 지 너무 정가와 조다 된데 조지 개와서던 제와 뒤에지도 니 내가 지도 차 니 계획에 내가 되지나 지 개닉도 수수 딕딕도 인상과 아니 계좌게 다 참았으나래 다 대선도 백규미요라 투제 주 상마 아니 담에도 왜 셰럽된데 인테 계좌 사도 배다 수수 심 내가 치기 류장 치 강바장 류장 심장 차선 된 어딘데 시제 내가 지도 잡았어야 돼 계좌 못 잡이 그랬어
So I thought I would talk about what we need to do before actual formal meditation or when you do meditation practice. Before one undertakes the formal meditation, concentration meditation, what is important is one must know the subject area that one wants to meditate on, become fully conversant, get all the information, leave nothing to chance for reservations to arise later. Secondly, and then one needs to prepare the site for meditation, and most particularly it happens to be your own chosen meditation room. So it could be your entire house. So it's extremely beneficial to tidy up the place, declutter, tidy up the place, and then create a wholesome, open, relaxing space. So, for example, you want to do 5-day meditation, 7 a week, 15 a fortnight, a month. Depending on the time limit, do the preparation for becoming fully aware of information, then prepare the site in terms of decluttering and sweeping. New Zealand is quite fortunate because there are so many beautiful places by nature, very inviting for one to sit down and have a quality meditation. So anyway, when you prepare the site, don't do it without thinking mechanically, rather have the motivation. Think to yourself, I'm preparing the site because I want to do, for example, Kanten Haikema retreat. I'm doing Kanten Haikema practice, 7 sublimes, present in the 100 stages of the joyous land, in order to do Mahamudra meditation. For me, to be effective in my meditation, just as I need to declutter the mind inside, first I need to declutter the space and then sweep. If you have a broom in the traditional context, nowadays people use Lux or vacuum cleaner. The vacuum cleaner is like a, you know, your wisdom, understanding, emptiness, decluttering and sweeping away um, rubbish present in the mind, and then think that all the rubbish that you have collected or sucked by the vacuum cleaner are the impurities that you want to get rid of and have been now completely got rid of. So do it with the full awareness of the purpose and the motivation.
다 제가 개디 내가 장마 구유 장마 수도 소놈 사고요. 랑이 심 타왔다. 네. 미신인데 레디 혼자 추저도 있는 사자 장마 레 미망불 레기도 있는 사자 장마도 기우도 심나라. 가오용도 알아. 이 심 가오디 소놈 사 디르다. 심 미심을 가오용하지 소놈래. 가오용을 딜 때네 지 미페저를 깨지신이 좋고요야. 내가 진이 좋고요야. 지 니야고야 간지톤에 셈디 가오요나 상마 연구도 하잖아. 근데 연구에 네 손놈 쉬우지가 고유 담아서 해야 돼. 직 손놈 사야 다 고유 저거 있는 강의도 알아.
So clearing the site of rubbish and the dirt is quite crucial, and it's like taking care of the spiritual environment. Not only your general environment is quite neat and clean, but the site where you meditate or you want to meditate is equally pleasant to be in. And this when you prepare the site in this way, you end up gathering sonam, means spiritual energy or force or merit. So when the site is clean, and then not only is it appealing for one, but if visitors, for example, when they come to the center, and when the center is in top condition, it people feel quite relaxed, drawn in, and when people have a joy, people experience joy, and you have been responsible for that joy, and from that joy you gather the merit, and therefore not only the physical environment is now in pristine state, it will induce a similar pristine state from within. So so much so that you, in a positive frame of mind, you want to connect with the people. Whatever you want to do, you are more efficient, and such that you even sleep better.
네 가죠. 하도 상달라가 저걸로 쟁기여와 저번에를 두고요 말이야. 나도 미나 저번들로 눈이 두면도 알아. 하바도 가죠 주면 하도도 아니 상달라가 그게다. 상마유는 하도도 코용 거. 진짜 쇼 말고 상마다 주위에 미나를 하이나를 상마 안 거도 코용도 알아.
So you know the effect of a clean environment. You also know the effect of a polluted environment and what the effect it has both on the body and mind. And when you prepare the site in this way, it becomes easier for, let's say, divine forces, mundane and transmundane divine forces, to alight and to, witness your practice. Let alone that, even ducks like that.
어디지? 아니 내가 시도 좋았어. 근데 고속도 된단 봤습니다. 수수 나라야 덤베 구다. 딱 구다도 저래 딱 나라도 누저다 싸워서 규저도 돼지 공단지 뿌다고 그래. 뿌다고 르슈고 계절물에도 담바이나래 구이나래 그 배샤테스 마다는 그다고 용말하라. 배샤라 세나체니 그 규저단도 당고네레베 소고라고 매거든데 르슈 제일 하고도 아다 예서 말하고 소리지 지도 이게 야고요 말이잖아. 당분에 방도 주도는 배규 배메시 구도서 제도 야고도 알아. 무슨 나라이네. 구 덤베 구 딜레요이나 야고요래. 구면은 구바도 리더로 데스 그런서 도선 데스 단지 지기네 야고요라. 메지고나냐데래. 아니 송라 다 점진데 송 따단다이나 제르무 친구 아니 구바레 구레 가레나 아니 송투 투블 최대나 요르 최대면나 니 티위나 디교라 구송투 인데 직수 나라요나 고 구송투 된다 마세디 무여로
So the first preliminary for effective meditation is clearing the sight, or rather decluttering and cleaning the sight. The second one is arranging objects representing Buddha's body, speech, and mind, and so that Buddha is present both in terms of the three. So with regard to physical representation, ensure that one gets quality objects of physical representation. It may cost a little bit, and it's worth spending money on quality material and quality craftsmanship, so that again it appeals. It's really pleasing to look at. Sometimes people acquire, let's say, physical representations of the Buddha. They thought to themselves they got the best, but the product ends up being falling short of the standard. Then one doesn't know what to do, whether we should live in the garage or where, I don't know. So people have difficulty what to do with less than satisfactory objects of the objects representing the body. So it may entail some money. It's worth spending so that that physical representation becomes the focus, attractive focus of your spiritual practice. And along with the physical representation, also it's quite good to have a scripture, whether it's the writings of Lama Tsongkhapa or one volume or many volumes, whatever. The scriptures represent Buddha's speech, and which is said to be the most important of the three activities of the Buddha's body, speech, mind. And also, then it's important, good to have a miniature stupa, or we call chutin. If you don't have one, then a bell would also represent that. So anyway, it's good to have these things on the altar.
네, 나 미스스 되어라. 아니
So it depends on individual taste. For me, I feel more at home, and I feel I have a much greater sense of joy when there are more scriptures than statues or tankas. When I'm surrounded by scriptures, then I feel at home.
근데 그거다 말람자면 쉬우시면더라 빼져도 되네 취지 뭐지 로니 그나네 진짜만 라고더라
So with the Buddha's images, you can do a lot of practice, but short of doing practice, there's no immediate reward. Whereas when you have scripture or text, you open one thing and immediately one receives crucial information on different things. That's very pleasing, satisfying.
다디네 네 초바 요미지 고바 제바 샴바서 다 초바 샴단도서 그봐 지난 다 초바 아니 지금 많잖아 저는 왼쪽인데 추지를 표현하는 초바 요새야 디 규요 그는 거 요새 규딜라 규장마 수수 갈래 접신요 지 구마 접신요서 밀 커밀 장 밀 고고 당시 요새 근데 그잖아 표미로래 와 그는 요들라 초바 표현한 데디 롱제 첨부 연구에 미직 시그레시아로 니 초바 제바 샴바디 레그나밀레 겨지마 직 제보 용해야 된데 레사 그거든데 시기여로 어 초바 제보 그거 제보 샴나 나라 마음바 나바야고 연구해서 된데서나 그놈도 당겨요 말이더라 네 초바 요미지 그거 제보 샴바스야지 개침부 작업을 해서
The third preliminary is arranging aesthetically or setting up aesthetically arranged offering without deceptive means. So again, offerings go a long way in gathering merits, and even if it means that one has nothing more than water to offer, that is also possible. So yome means non-deceptive offering, non-deceptive materially, non-deceptive motivation. Non-deceptive materially or causally means the things one offers to the objects of refuge, to the Buddha, for example, must be honestly acquired material, things that were acquired through deceptive, coercive means cannot be offered, even if they will not do, or they will not fulfill the outcome of getting earning merits. And then although the material is honestly acquired, but if one's motivation is soiled, in thinking to myself, it's really good to offer these it's good to set up beautiful offerings, arrange aesthetically arrange offerings, because they say that it will be good for my looks in my future lifetime. So then if one were to set up offering in that way for future good looks, it may good, but not really good. And offerings must be set up aesthetically for its own purpose.
초바 푸야데 소남사야 다저 소남사야 오늘 진배년에서 롱조 연구요로 다그 푸샤나 롱조 연구야 그러고 매비는 롱조 연구요로 와세선디 롱조 연구야데 그 진소 파진 주는 진배년에 개좀버셔도 추어지도 네 벤저 당시면은 저 디드 코스토래 가시 요니르나야 베셔 당문도 세거더라 근데 저 롱조 매비 강의로 와 가시다 야만남 준단 도고래 도선 침물에도 같은 산체단 롱주 면은 최제래 바제래도 같은 디인디 추부부야도 롱주 면에 기진요 레스티로.
So what is offering? Offering is parting with one's means, limited means, in order and giving away these to the objects of refuge. And therefore, offering is an act of generosity to the sublime, and it also cuts through one of the things, one of the mental afflictions of stinginess and miserliness, and it clears that negative property of the mind. So material means are important for one to be independent in one's practice. If one is crippled by material means, it really this limits the possibility of being able to do many things. There are people who like to attend the course, but they say it's not possible for me, and they have to travel long distance, expensive flight, and so on. So offering, while is not meant or not dedicated to becoming materially well off, but given with a sense of a reference and devotion to the sublime objects, inevitably, unwittingly ends up bringing resources without working too much for them. So the third preliminary is to sit on a comfortable seat and then do refuge, do a hard rendering, refuge, and bodhicitta practice. So then the means comfortable sit. Meditation seat is comfortable when it's higher at the back. In any case, whatever promotes comfort, it is important to ensure a comfortable seat, and ideally speaking, sit on such a seat facing the east. If not practical, then imagine facing the east. So sitting on such a seat and then do quality refuge and bodhicitta, season your mind, marinate the mind in refuge and bodhicitta, so that your mind is soaked in refuge and bodhicitta practice. We need that, because effort alone, however efficient one may be, does not bring the final desired outcome. There's a need to depend on other sources, other unseen forces, for spiritual experience. So when you turn to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha and do quality, heart-wrenching refuge, and then also generate profound, moving bodhicitta practice, understanding the rational underpinning bodhicitta, then you will have seasoned your mind in this profound practice, and somehow then with some effort, unexpected realizations of bodhicitta began to take root, compassion, and here Mahamudra. No.
그래서 겸도 가둘라 참아든데 스타나요 알아서 밀류된 딘데지다 톱로 밀류된 미망고지게 최진이 망고지게다 겨워치면 밀류된 톱쇼스 mellam제고로 알아서 단다 오늘에는 mellam제야글류된데 먼저로 톱돼 단다로 아니 밀류된 데다 남배춘에서는 대화지에다 저와주 텐조니가 서로 텐조니가 첼로로면 이렇게 메시는 거죠. 대외된 이 신노래라 텐조니와 다른 잠시 있어. 미류된 알아서 공부지기다. 나 이신 노브세야 되다 빼닝 벌어. 그래 띵상 돌아 빌린 칠렌인데 다나다다 쉬지라스 팅그러다. 텔레장한테 알아서 터도 류된디 다쳐레스다. 이메 줌제 가르스는 돌아 빌린 칠렌이나 생기디 두두문다라. 디두두문도 네 신다파샤니 니심 가서 우리 겨워치매 된다도 겨워치마 신다파샤니 겨워치매 된다도 타와다 탐제진 뭐 산제 고마서는 파샤니 세대강게 생기 시대 두두문도 나라서 밀류된데라 근데 두야가 누워요 봐 남주기 싫어요 이자 니 딜레장 하그레스 다 이나야 밀류된데 니에가와 딜라다다 직배고는 니에가와 유고는 니에가와 모고는 니에가와 장고는 니에가와 쓰는데 망고요래 니 답배고는 니에가와 딜라 다 좀된데 도란에 숨게 배된데 망고지 요래 다 그저 니 배지 배도다 지메 둘링만 채나 저랑서 뒤모여라 저는 망고지 달람레 망고 퇴대요 인상에 쉬먹어치 그래서 저 상마다 저 들으래 답배고는 니에가와 들어라야 지지 르베디 세르기냐 싱도서 이지 야저 팅을 가스콜 요토디 나신 남배 최대 좀 된데 농나라 장내 장수 타스와 장내 장수 타스 보통 뭐 야가라 타라 남배 최라 아니 야가네 장 벌을 타 벌네 소유를 타 소유네 딩상 다 소유네도 타자 말들래 또 누저를 타래 뭐라 장내 장수 단 남배 최대 점블링 코란을 다지 캡두고 여러 가지가 아니 이나야 디 대단 체크하고 쉬지로 밀리디나 점블링 미 다 통주든 삼선지 여러 데를 둔주로 같은 둔주 말이다 어딘데 요디 이내 다 남배추 전년 윤용 다 장하고는 얘기거든서 삼담에 있네 밀리딘딩 거네 자ችን 뭐 임바 때때 삼담에 야고도 텐조 텐제디 가서나 나도 망고지 땅아 레마서 말레 교 레마서 아직 중마서 니 중마서 삼담데디 아당아란 밀리딘 자ችን 뭐 데지 토요라서 대상로 시담에 있는 일 아니 심나라 가와지야다 심나라 보와지야다 최지야게 로도기야 근데 용구인데 제가 네 밀리딘 자ችን 뭐 인자 데딘라야 전단된 것이 간대 치고 의미디 돌아 삼로 땅에디 전조 전지 상단에디 계주물에도 와서
As part of seasoning one's mind and refuge and bodhicitta, I think it's really important that we acknowledge the quality of life form that one has got. Many beings pray that they be reborn humans again, but we are already humans. How wonderful that we have achieved what others in many realms pray for. And because this human life in Buddhist terms is called precious human life. It's a precious for it is able, it does wonders materially, spiritually, even more so spiritually. This life is so precious that it is 100,000 times more precious than in the traditional context what is called wish-fulfilling jewels. So then one may not be able to relate to such distant analogy, but we can relate to billions of dollars, $1 trillion, So if one has a treasured chest full of $1 trillion, people think people consider that amazingly precious. But what does it do if you consider truly the worth of $1 trillion? Does it really bring genuine happiness? And does it enable one to be reborn a human again, so that you can connect with the spiritual practice where you have left off last lifetime? Will $1 trillion be enough one to buy a ticket, as it were, to nirvana or to enlightenment? Not possible. So whereas this human life is a wonderful and quite precious, it is able to achieve any goal, material or spiritual, one sets for oneself. So and therefore really acknowledge and celebrate the great fortune, the priceless fortune of this human existence, which is able to achieve all material goals, and more importantly, it has the capacity to make it to Buddhahood, if one applies oneself, fulfilling all the necessary conditions. Unfortunately, there's a downside to this precious human life, and that is it's easily lost. Now here, suddenly gone. And once gone, one can't expect to find it again very quickly or immediately. It's really hard to find. There are many analogies demonstrating the difficulty of acquiring another human existence in terms of nature, in analogy, and so on. So I'd like you to talk about that during your discussion time. Anyway, there's one analogy that people have heard before, and this human life is as difficult to find as it would be for a blind turtle to poke its neck through the hole of a golden yolk on the surface of the ocean, moving from, constantly drifting. How rare it would be for a blind turtle to poke its neck through that. How it's really difficult. And in the same way, the teaching of the Buddha is constantly shifting. And one's life, one's existence, oneself shifts. One is not reborn where one should have been reborn. And not only that, the teaching is shifting. It originated in India, it moved to east and to the west, to the north, that is Tibet. From there, it went further north to Mongolia. Then it moved further north, but not really north, but to the west. And the teaching of the Buddha is moving everywhere. So one needs to be able to be reborn where the teachings have moved to. And therefore, and considering this, it's really hard to find. Some people do fail to appreciate human existence. They think, oh, I'm the most pathetic, I've achieved nothing, and they have bad thoughts, of not doing something to this human body, because the yardstick of success is the wrong yardstick. But spiritually speaking, what this human life is able to do is more than enough for one to be happy about, and therefore use this limited time the wonder of this human life offers to seasoning the mind in refuge and bodhicitta.
제단다 미르딘디 데디 치마도나나 아니 니가 지글라나 gel로단 다스와 아니 남리나라 치왕이 남징이 메사 자오숨 준제부 타제 숨자도 조상무단도나 야고여와 다 고문원에 jam나 당고 되게 되게 상당고요 텐조 텐지에 당 치워미다와 그래서 상당한데 아니 로아 치원이 예샤 남징이 메르스 치베세 처음에도 강의념을 해봐서 다 숨바들을 상당고로 그리고 당 알아서 말 지금에서야 면도하러 지금 이날에 켈링이 이날에 맨날에 왜래도 정말로 누구도 돼 아니 지금이다 어디다 상당히 소도로 제가 집에다 벤조망고 갈래 잡산유도 펜도도 해와 그냥 수수직 시우직 되게 자오라고 이제 시우직 자지 뭐 진유디 펜도도 말해 다시 집에체 수수 셈게 셈상다 최세디 셈바상부체 밀레 펜도체 개와도야 되나 디키도야 미시지 디게 바자디 키도야 미시지 신다 파신의 수자치의 류딘디에 샤는 도야리 와셰장데디 모이니 주로 와셰장 제가 집에체 가리 펜도도 삼디 두균시우 지 개좀버져야 되게 되게 펜도문도 다 펜 가리 더 그러나 개와체 셈바상부체 최지 냠내제 디게디 바자디 키제도 해레스 제가 최마다 강의념에 햄바셔야 돼 다주주 상로직 당고요 레스로
So people in general and us in particular really need to come to realize that we have got an amazing spiritual capital, the human existence, the fortunate human existence, and we need to be able to make full use of it before we lose it, because as said before, obtained with great difficulty and potentially amazing, but for a limited time, because it's lost. And here, then think about impermanence of compounded phenomena in general, in particular impermanence of this life, and that is, people have done Lamrim meditation. Then think about death and impermanence. I need to hurry up and hasten in extracting the most out of this potential human life, because of three things. Death is absolutely certain. The time of death is uncertain. At and beyond the time of death, nothing material is of any benefit. Nothing comes except one's karmic propensities, virtuous and non-virtuous. And that is certain because nobody ever lives. And one can't say, I don't need to practice because I know I'm not going to, that will not take me. That is the great leveler. It takes one and all from life. and therefore in that knowledge, then decide to practice. And the time of death is uncertain, and that is also called obvious. At the time of death and beyond that, nothing material is of an iota of benefit. And the wealthy, mega wealthy beings who have spent their lifetime, who have used the potential of human life to make mega bucks, they leave everything behind. And they may have friends and families. When they die, they also are left behind. Not only that, they even leave their body behind. So what goes? Nothing material, however successful one has been, is of any benefit. What does accompany one is propensities of action one has performed. And therefore, given that it's important to prepare by way of collecting positive karmic propensities.
아예 다 인지 아니 추 컨디션 그래야지 다 추 부타고 치월라 다는 먼저 차진 거 뒤뒤어 치월라 네 손남사래 네 아지 라멘년조 간딜라제 단테 대 아니 조주 담딘 냠네 치고 인자 아니 조주 시오 초신세 되어서야 당긴간서 세다버티다 곰 메버체 요버체로 안 딜라다 인라도 멘데데 디나라다 인라 듄차잔도 거래 차세버 찬제 차세버 추가샤고도 예디 간딜라제는 차잔지 도디기 요래 아니 다 계지주디 소와데와서 봐네 소바다가 딜레윤디 아니 딜라다 만조 디 차진 선딥디마 할레를 직전 결혼자디와 아니 디네 곰데스 겸나라 차진 선딥마 등기데 디운이 난가다 라마통가와 곰데와
나래
디게 마다 베시트 안디게 차진 기벨라마디게 디베잖아 요나시 요테 디다 구네마 베시트 안소소 심조바 심마시바도 바타데 믹세기 니 차진기 도고지야게 진랍지 규를 총성天신병 안에 아니 차진선들이 다다 인지도를 요인자 근데 마직 줄려지 로쇼스라 이제는 범대스 자고서
So then, if we need to practice Dharma in order to gather as much propensity as possible, what should we do? And we need to gather, first of all, merits. Merits play a vital role in making necessary connections. And the practice that we are going to do during the retreat is Mahamudra. So then, the next preliminary, the fourth preliminary is to visualize merit field. Merit field is a technical term which is visualizing or imagining the presence of sublime beings before one, who are the fertile field of gathering merits. That I briefly described to you this morning, to how to visualize a hailing of Lama Tsongkhapa and disciples from the Teacher, the Pure Land, and so on. The next one is the fifth. Sorry. The fifth preliminary is now to do 7 sublimes, Yanla Dumpa. And 7 sublimes are present in Ganten Hagyama in the practice called 100 Deities of the Joyous Land. And the 6th preliminary is now making entreaties, requests to the Guru Remember, Guru is the source of spiritual X factor for realizations to take place. And therefore, I like you to now clearly visualize presence of Lama Tsongkhapa disciples, having done some supplements this morning. I want you to now recite prayers to lineage gurus of Mahamudra and pray to them to pass on that transmission, the connection, live wire like force, living force of Mahamudra. Thank you. So could you go to the English translation of Ma? Page 13 in the book.
By the force of my having fervently requested in this way, asked with his free, forever pure Father and Son, holding things with white light unlimited, and combining into one with gentle light. White nectar, the color of milk, flows from the opening of the tube of white light, cleansing away all my sickness of spirit hounds, negative karmas, obscuration
There
therein,
appears without exception.
my
My
body
body
becomes
becomes
as
as
pure
pure
and
and
crystal
crystalline.
Great to raise a great treasure of knowledge, divine compassion, magician, master of saint's wisdom, Lord of secrets, destroyer of the entire host of lies, Tsongkhapa, crown ornament of sages, land of snow, Rosa and Dracula, faithful holy feet, I make request.
Could you recite Mahamudra Guru lineage requests?
Oh, Mahamudra Guru.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe, I'm sorry, the translation was not clear. This one here.
No, this one here.
Oh, what's it?
Praises and supplications to the Lord Mahamudra. So after each verse, there's a refrain in the little box, so we go back to that. Homage to the great seer. You are the primordial Buddha, chief of all Buddha lineages, dwelling in the palatial mansion of spontaneously created three bodies. I bow at your precious feet, great Rajadhara, all-pervading Lord. You are the Father of all. You are the Father of all, conquerors of three times, a holy field of wisdom covering the earth's 10 directions. I bow at your feet, all wise Aryan and Vishnu. By generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely stirring the continuum that clings to holding itself, may I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total liberation. Here in the snowy provinces of this northern country, you are a second Buddha of the Buddhist doctrine. I bow at your feet, Reverend Goswami. By generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely stirring the continuum that clings to the holding itself, may I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. You are the principal amongst those holy institutes of the practice of Tsongkhapa, great son of Manjughosha. I bow at your feet, Dr. Jumbo Gatsas, by generating a mind of
Compassion, loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuum that clings to the whole self. May I bless the quick attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration.
after opening the treasury accounts of the oral tradition, you
The
mature the
material
wealth
ways
of
of
the
the
Buddhist
continuum.
entities. I
I
bow
bow
at
at
your
your
feet,
feet,
my
Pastor
Buddha
Chicken,
Jumbo.
by generating a mind of compassion, loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuum that clings to the
May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total liberation. After reaching the end of practice of the two tantric stages, you attain the body of deathless Vidyadhara. I bow at your feet, great cylinder Vidyadhara. By generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuum that clings to the holding self, may I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total liberation. May the leaders shed the bonds of the 8 mundane concerns. You held high the banner of victory of the teaching of absolution. I bow at your feet, O servant of your daughter, by generating a mind of compassion, loving kindness, and by completely stirring and continually clinging to holiness self. May you be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total liberation. Your dance of saffron robes guides all transmigratory beings to delightful house of the three bodies. I bow at your feet to soft deserts unsuggested, by generating a mind of compassion, loving kindness, and by completely stirring and continually clings to holiness self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest states of Mahamudra, the path of total liberation. May none of the things that strange and teachings of the Almighty ever said, you are indistinguishable from that very refuge. I bow at your feet, reverent lost and stricken, by generating a mind of compassion, loving kindness, and by completely stirring and continually clings to holiness self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra, the path of total liberation. Having it written into one essential meaning of the Buddha's teachings, the sutras, sutras, commentaries. You achieve perfection in putting these into practice. I bow at your feet, great possessor of infinite by generating a mind of compassion, loving kindness, and by completely serving the continually cleanse the holy self. May we blessed quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total inspiration. Move to the exertion you experience with deep enjoyment and taste the very essence of Jain teaching. I bow at your feet in humble obeisance. By generating a mind of compassion, loving kindness, and by completely severing the continual cleanse the holy self, may you be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total inspiration. As Master and Teacher to the fortunate candidates, you gain the richness of the nectar of the Dharma that is profound and vast. I bow at your feet with reverence, bishop, by creating a mind of compassion, loving kindness, and by completely severing the continual cleanse the holy self. May I bless to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra, the path of total inspiration. With the welfare of the Dharma, he reincarnated again like a venerable lotus himself. I bow at your feet, reverent Boston Yeshu. By reflecting, by generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuing cleanse the holiness self, may I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. You achieve mastery of the profound path of the oral tradition, and were blessed by Lord Buddha himself. I bow at your feet, reverent Blossom Trinity, by generating a mind of compassion, loving kindness, and by completely severing the continual cleanse of holiness self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. You reach the limits of putting into practice the essential meaning of the oral tradition of Tsongkhapa. I bow at your feet, great citadel of Saimanyo, by generating a mind of compassion, loving kindness, and by completely severing the continual cleanse of holy self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration.
With great kindness, you could have illustrated the essential precept, Jeremiah's oral tradition about a favorite issue tension.
By generating a mind of compassion, loving kindness, and by completely severing the continual cleanse of holy self, may I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. Propagate everywhere the teaching of all the lands alike, the essence of the arrogant teaching of the complete path. I bow at your feet, reverent Mahamudra, by generating a mind of compassion, loving kindness, and completely severing the continual cleanse of holy self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. You matured by means of the Dharma all of Tibetan China, while sporting the saffron robes of primordial Buddha. I bow at your feet, matching health and leadership, by generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely severing the continual cleanse of holy self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration.
You arrive at accomplishment with single pointed concentration on the complete and extensive good health of Sutra and Tantra. About your virtue, yoga and Toji, by generating the mind of compassion and loving kindness.
And by completely severing the continual cleanse of holy self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. by protecting, clarifying taught Buddhist teachings through verbal explanation and composition. With regard to steadfast knowledge like a second Buddha, I guide your feet, Reverend Dhammapada, by generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuum that clings to holding the self. I am impressed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. Your superior knowledge of the profound and vast Dhamma is not truth, and you have highly conceivable
compassion is never closed. Apaya Fit, Yang Chen Tripe Doji, by generating a mind of compassion, love, and kindness, by complete severing the continuum that clings to holding the self. As a quick attain the highest state of Mahamudra, both of the integration. You arrive at the victorious stage of total integration. Bow at your feet, scholars to the Tenzin Zundri, by generating a mind of compassion, love, and kindness, by completely severing the continuum that clings to holding a self. May I be blessed to attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. After attaining perfection of the Vipassana path, you have held the banner of victory of teaching of the commentary and practice. About you have learned the opportunity chances.
By generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuum that clings to holding the self, may I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. As holder of the lessons of the teachings of the three higher trainings, you bear no trace whatever of the stains of moral faults. I bow at your feet, Lord Saint by generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuum that clings to holding the self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration.
Yunkan again showing the dance of seven robe monk, like the second Buddha himself, Jingu Samudrupa, about at your feet, Lord Blossom Gyatso, by generating a mind of compassion, love, and kindness, and by completely severing the
continuum that clings to holding the self. May I be
bless
blessed
the
to
Buddha
quickly
to
attain
the
the
seven
highest state
state.
of Mahamudra through the path of total integration.
You clarify innumerable fortunate ones, the treasure of extensive Dhamma's vast and profound path. About your feet, Lord Kangawa Jamba,
by generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuum that clings to holding the self, may I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. You are securely clarifying the noble path free of extremes by means of the loud laughter of your sailor's logic. I bow at your feet, supremely wise Chief Nirvana, by generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuum that clings to holding the self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra in the path of total integration. You are unequaled in propagation through explanation and practice, the most excellent doctrine of the perfectus non-kava. I bow at your feet, Reverend Tenpali, by generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuum that clings to holding the self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration.
I trust in the nectar of all traditional Lord Millimgun, for experiential understanding upon our feet, Reverend Kunjo Gensen.
By generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuum that clings to holding the self, may I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration.
You have beheld the banner of victory of teaching the practice of unity, dwelling on kind of concentration on our world.
I bow at your feet, great Siddha by generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuum that clings to holding the self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration.
According to the limits of experience and what was to abandon and understood, you shall return the downward to the place of pleasure. Bear your feet, esteem to the enthusiasm.
By generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, by completely severing the continuum that clings to holding the self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. You attain the rank of an one of the two stages, and so the crown of wise is the wise. I bow at your feet, glorious Tenpali, by generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuum that clings to holding the self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. Owing to the force of your loving kindness for all sentient beings, you have held the banner of victory through the teachings of sutras and tantras. I bow at your feet, reverent Trinity Council. My generating mind, compassion, and loving kindness, I completely sever and continue in cleanse the holiness self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra, the path of total liberation. You are the good friend who extends to all fortunate candidates, the heart essence of the seven Buddhas of Kappa. I bow at your feet behind the loss of initiative, by generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, by completely severing and continuing the cleanse to holiness self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra, the path of total integration. You understand the extensive scriptures of Shakyamuni's holy Dharma and increase them according to the Buddha's intentions. I bow at your feet, exalted Trinity Family. I generate a mind of compassion, loving kindness. I completely sever and continue the cleanse of holiness self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. For the sake of faithful disciples, you manifest the magnificent Buddha seals all the realizations. God, your feet, most kind Guru, by generating a mind of compassion, loving kindness, and by completely severing and continuing the cleanse to holiness self. May I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. Having developed strong revulsion towards dwelling in samsara and taking full responsibility for liberating all sentient beings without exception.
And seeing blessed Guru as Lord Buddha himself, may I
May
help
we
him
bless
to
the quickly
control
attain the state of Mahamudra, in most exquisite state of total liberation. Your body, Father, and my own body, your speech, Father, and my own speech, your mind, Father, and my own mind. May I be blessed to live as rightly to retreat and service.
So it's really good to have the presence of these lineage gurus here and during meal times, for example. So when you're having your meals and beverages, always think that you make offerings to these lineage gurus who one has requested to cut through sense of I and to bestow Mahamudra and feel that they have partaken your offering and, and in return bestowed you what is called a blessing or the transforming energy to bring about what you have been seeking. No? So you have a discussion in the afternoon, and I'd like you to cover the following in discussion. It will be reinforcing what you know before, and more importantly, it will be kind of helping people who are completely new to this understand the all-important preparatory um, arrangements needed for the actual practice to yield desired outcome. So could you please go through the six preliminaries, what they are, and next could you go through the seven sublimes or seven limbs of practice, seven sublimes from prostration to dedication. And next, then think about this human existence and try to identify why, or try to understand why this human life is so precious, so valuable. It is a wonderful spiritual capital one has. Uh, and then think about the rarity of human life and how it is so rare. Also think about the blind turtle and the golden yolk analogy that Buddha offered himself. Really profound, and generally think about how rare it is to come by in terms of cause, in numerically speaking, in terms of an analogy, and by its very nature, how human existence is extremely hard. This precious human existence is extremely hard to find. If time permitting, then go over death and impermanence, three synopses of a death meditation: certainty of death, the time of death, uncertainty, nothing but spiritual means are of benefit at and beyond death. And then why go through the three sub points that support these three main sections, and then the three conclusions you arrive at as a result of this contemplation.
Page 31. Saje Abhisha Shimei Totram Rira Winchini Negapari Sangeshin Kulite Uvati Klopananda Shila Chopashe Tetanami Kute Vateshi